Before we start, take a slow breath. I know there are moments you wish you could erase, but they don't define who you are. You are still becoming, and this might be the moment your healing begins again.
What is the one regret you have, if you have any at all?
It's a tricky question because I'm one of these people that doesn't want to go back and change anything.
I think everybody is, according to the science. We had my Gaudat sit here from Google. He talked about the eraser test. And he said even people that have gone through profound trauma, when asked the question if they would erase the trauma, 99+% said no, because of the domino effect. You don't know, it's an interesting one.
Yeah. Like any behavior that hurt somebody else, anything that I did, whether it was lied or cheating or, just being an ass when I was just trying to survive, that unintentionally hurt somebody else. Yeah, I wish that wasn't part of my story. But I wouldn't understand at a profound level that really well-meaning good people do really shitty things when they feel shit about themselves. And, if I hadn't done things when I felt about myself, I wouldn't fully believe that.
And you might do that again, I guess, had you not done it once.
Yeah. Or twice or 3 times or 4 times. Like first you got to wake up, And then there's all the things that I did that I don't realize hurt somebody else. But, I know in my heart that I was still a good person. I was just in a really bad place, which is, why you do bad things. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation for everything in life. And if you believe you're a bad person, you will tend to do bad things. And the opposite is also true. If you believe that you are a good person who is worthy of good things, you tend to do good things.
Unbelievably true. My last question for you is one that I tend to always ask people I meet that I find to be incredibly wise and very good at helping others. I mean, you help hundreds of millions of people combined, which is, do you still struggle with all of this shit you talk about?
Oh my God. Yes. That's why I'm so relatable. I do not have this stuff figured out. I am shoulder to shoulder with everybody. Whether it's issues going on with one of my kids, issues going on with one of me, just the other night, this is what happened. I self-published the audiobook.
Okay.
And, which is amazing because I'm a smart, I own my rights. And you should.
To this book as well.
No, this one I did a joint venture on the publishing, but I own all of the audio.
Amazing.
And, cause the 5-second rule is self-published and it's the #1 selling self-published audiobook in the history of audiobooks. I don't like it when somebody else has control. I, as an artist, want to own what I do. As a businesswoman, nothing pisses me off more than getting into a dumb deal. And then I resent the people that I'm in the deal with because I didn't negotiate properly. And if you believe in what you're doing, you better own your work. You better understand the long tail payoff of your work because nobody will market your work better than you. And you will be profoundly pissed off when somebody else is making their money 100 years from now. And so, I, self-published the audiobook. I have a tremendous partnership with Audible, destroyed it in sales the month of October. The #1 selling audiobook, period, hands down, of any book that was published, period. AP reported it. Everybody reported it. And then the New York Times comes out, in November and they, rank the top 10 audiobooks of the month of October. And they deliberately left me off. And when that happened, I punched the wall. I drank a gin martini. I lit up a joint. I called a couple friends and bitched. And I immediately got triggered because I went right back to the experience of being a ninth grader on the tennis team and having the seniors throw a party. And I was the only ninth grader who wasn't involved. And so it triggered a very old pattern that I thought I had gotten rid of, which is I'm an outsider. Nobody likes me. I'm always having to sneak in. Why am I never invited? Why am I not part of the cool kids? Why am I not like it's that old stupid ass story that got triggered. And so of course this shit happens. It happens all the time. And I just happen to talk about it because I don't like feeling these things. And I find that just trying to shove it down makes the next time it happens get even bigger. Mm. And so I share this stuff because I think holding it in is what's creating a lot of anxiety and regret and upset and stuckness for people. We are all so the same. And the more that, I kind of share the ups and downs, I think the more people listen to the things that are working and try them out and tweak them for their own life. And look, if I can save anybody the heartache and the headaches I caused myself, that's a life well lived. If I can laugh at myself along the way, if I can punch a wall and drink a gin martini and then share with you like, okay, this, and then get out. Because how I got out of that, because I could have been in that cycle, the old Mel would have been there for a month. Everybody's out to get me. I never get recognized. Why even bother? It doesn't matter. And it allows me to share in real time that I feel all the but I don't like to stay there. And this is not toxic positivity. It is important when you're disappointed to allow yourself to feel disappointed. It is important when you lose something to give yourself the grace to grieve for as long as you need to. It is important to have a good cry, to have a good scream, it's important to feel the highs and the lows. You're meant to feel it all. But you can shorten the length of time you stay down. And what always helps me, it's something that, I developed when the 5-second rule launch was coming off the rails, is I just kept saying what I've said a couple times during this. I say to myself, I refuse to believe that if I'm a good person, and that if I'm working hard, I refuse to believe that this doesn't work out. I refuse to believe that I'm not going to be okay. Like, I know that this moment's going to pass, and I know that I will look back on this moment 5 years from now, and I'll see exactly what I was meant to learn. And what I was meant to learn, I already know, is that I have got to once and for all stop looking for validation in old institutions. If I truly want to be an artist on my own terms, don't even pay attention to that, because it doesn't matter in the world that we're living in now. It doesn't matter if you really want to make impact, because the person that's struggling is the person that you want to reach, not the person that's deciding who gets on some stupid list that's printed in a paper. And redirecting your focus to what actually matters. And the fact that you believe in your heart, that you got the mindset, you got the work ethic, you got the ability to figure this shit out and to keep going. And that eventually, if you do, what's meant for you is going to find you. You will be rewarded for all this in the way that you're meant to be rewarded. That's amazing. It's an amazing feeling because you can pick yourself up no matter what happens.
You don't have to keep proving your worth. You already are enough. Tonight, choose one gentle thought and let it hold you like a soft light. I'm truly proud of you for choosing to keep going. Healing takes time, and you don't have to do it alone. If this message resonated with you, know that your journey matters. Be gentle with yourself. Keep exploring and surround yourself with support. Healing takes time, and before you go, comment, "I am healing to affirm your growth. You are seen, you are valued, and you are not alone." And before you go, comment, "I am healing to affirm